Baba yetu uliye mbinguni, jina lako litukuzwe, ufalme wako waja, mapenzi yako yatendeka, duniani kama mbinguni. Tulifunzwa na Yesu kusali, nitaimba nipaza sauti, nani atasikia? Habari za kwenda mbinguni ni za uongo. Mbingu ni makao ya Mungu, sio ya watu. Duniani ndiko Mungu alipea wanadamu. Shalom, shalom, and welcome to Joyce aka Daughter of Zion YouTube channel. Thank you for finding time to watch my videos. May God richly bless you. And the stanza that I have prayed is a song entitled Kwenda Mbinguni by Joyce aka Daughter of Zion, and it is here on YouTube. Thank you so much for those who have viewed. Thank you so much for those who have liked and commented. May God richly bless you. And by the grace of God, I have now done 4 songs and they are on YouTube. You can search them. The first one, Eka Kaondo. The second one, Kioria Gyakwa. The third one, Fungua Macho. And now the latest, Kwenda Mbinguni. So, kindly, if you have not watched, may I kindly request you to watch, and may God bless you. As you watch, like the video, comment, share the video, and also subscribe to this channel, and God bless you so much. As you are watching, if that word written there, subscribe, it's not reading subscribed, it is because you have not subscribed. Let me kindly request you to finger to hapo, touch to hapo, and then you'll have subscribed. And if you touch also the notification bell, then every time I upload a video, YouTube will notify you. Otherwise, shalom, shalom, and thank you so much. I also give all the honor and glory to God, our Maker, because of enabling me to do that. So in this video, we have done, we are doing the commandments, and we have done the first one up to the 4th one. And in this video, I want us to do a recap of the first 4 commandments which we did. It is a recap that I want us to do. And so what we found that is that the first 4 commandments, they were the first one. They were the ones which were written in one tablet, the first tablets, which were put in the Ark of the Covenant. So those first 4 commandments, they were in one tablet, and they speak about your relationship with God. We also saw that they come first in the arrangement of the 10 commandments, and there is a reason as to why they were arranged that way. And we also saw that when Jesus was asked which is the first or the greatest commandment by the Pharisee, who was an expert of the law, he said that the first or the greatest commandment is that you love the Lord your God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. That is what Jesus said is the first commandment, the greatest or the first commandment. And we read, because Jesus said about loving God, we read in John, 1 John 5, or 1 John chapter 5 verses 3 says that to love God is to keep his commandments. Now, that tells us that We demonstrate our love for God by, first of all, keeping his commandments, starting with the first 4 commandments. Now, this one which talks about our relationship with our Maker. That is what we saw. And so we will demonstrate your love for God by not having other gods apart from the Lord our God, the creator of heaven and earth. So if you have another God, if you call another person your father, not your biological father, the spiritual father, the father, our parish father, the father of our diocese, my spiritual father, baba wangu wa kiroho, mama wangu wa kiroho, then you don't love God. If you call people that way, or if you are called that way, then you do not love God. If you are using things, or if you have somebody whom you esteem more than God, if so and so has not said, so and so said, you don't love God. If you are using things which are made with the likeness of anything that God created, in heaven above, on earth beneath, and below the waters, in the form of human beings, animals, or even vegetation, then you don't love God. Because the fact that you did not make those things, you serve them as you use them. So if you are using those, you don't love God. Remember, we are doing a recap of the first 4 commandments. So if you lie using the name of God, you are taking the name of God in vain. And God will hold you guilty for that. If also you don't keep the Sabbath, you don't rest on the 7th day as per the commandment, you don't abstain from your customary work on the 7th day, which God ordained and blessed, you don't love God. In the previous video, we saw that Sabbath is a sign. Yeah, when we were doing the 4th commandment, we saw that Sabbath is a sign between us and God, so that we may know that God is our God and He is the one who makes us holy. So if you are not doing that, if you are not resting on a Sabbath, my viewer and my listener, you don't love God. You don't love God. Could it be you are one of those who say that they love God, or deep within you, you think that you love God? Even if you say or you think, as long as you don't obey His commandments, starting with the first 4 commandments, you are lying to yourself, my viewer and my listener. And that is the plain, bitter truth. You are lying to yourself. You don't love God. It doesn't matter how many prophecies you will give and come to pass, or how many great miracles you will perform, as long as you are called or someone calls you a spiritual father. You use things that are likeness of what God made. Yeah? You are using the name of God in vain. You don't keep the Sabbath. Even if you say you love God 100 times a day, you will be in for a rude sock on the last day, because, excuse me, saying you will be for a rude shock, because Jesus said in Matthew, I want us to read Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 and 23. It says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons and perform many miracles? Then I will tell them plainly, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. These are the ones of Jesus, the workers of iniquity. All the evildoers are sinners, and the sin is lawlessness, not keeping the law. John 1:3-4 tells us that, including the first 4 commandments, which talk about our relationship with God. So, there are people who will be surprised on the last day. They thought they were serving God. They thought they had a good relationship with God. They thought they loved God and were devoted to God, and that God was using them. The fact that they could prophesy and the prophecies come true, the fact that they could drive out demons, the fact that they performed miracles in the name of God, they will be surprised on the last day, because Jesus has said that he will tell them plainly, wazi, away from me. Jesus will tell them that I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. He has said that not everyone who calls me Lord, Lord will enter the kingdom of heaven. And of course, when we talk about the kingdom of heaven, I have done a song, Kwenda Mbinguni. It is not going to heaven. We will not go to heaven. Jesus taught us to pray that our Father who art in heaven, thy kingdom come. So he has said, only those who do the will of his Father. And what is the will of his Father? It's that we obey what he commanded. So my viewer and my listener, if you're not keeping the commandments, if you're not obeying them, don't lie to yourself. You are lying to yourself. You are living a lie. And you will be surprised on the last day. Sorry. So, the fact that if you don't keep these 4 commandments, even the government cannot accuse you of any wrongdoing. You cannot be arrested for calling or being called a spiritual father. In fact, they join people in calling other people spiritual fathers and mothers in the name of Ati Neheshima. You cannot be arrested for taking the name of God in vain. You cannot be arrested if you adorn yourself with things that are likeness of what God created. Nobody will arrest you for that. Nobody will arrest you for putting eyebrows which resemble these things that God created. Nobody will arrest you or accuse you. No officer will accuse you or arrest you for putting on artificial nails. Nobody will arrest you or accuse you for putting on the hair that is a likeness of what God created. You will not be arrested by anybody for not resting on a Sabbath. So the fact that you cannot be arrested by the government for doing that, you think now that is what it ought to be, but it is not what it ought to be. You think that there is no problem because even if there was a problem, then the government then I could be arrested by the officers, by the policemen and policewomen. No. So you think there is no problem because nobody is asking you. But before God, there is a very big problem. Before God, there is a very big problem, my viewer and my listener. Because by breaking the second commandment, God will punish. He says that he will punish the children for the sins of their fathers up to the third and fourth generation. He said he will not hold anybody guiltless for taking his name in vain. And for breaking the Sabbath, the penalty or judgment was death. But because people don't die today when they break the Sabbath, you think that is all what it ought to be. Or God lied when he said that those who break the Sabbath, they be put to death. God did not lie. He is quiet because, one, he knows about the abomination of that causes desolation, how people were lied to. But I can guarantee you, my viewer and my listener, that he will not keep quiet forever. He will not keep quiet forever. Like a woman, he says that, like a woman in childbirth, he will gasp and pant. How do you think it will be? How do you think things will be? For those who have been in labor ward, is there any laughter? There is no laughter. There is no laughter, my friend. Isaiah 42 verses 14. For a long time, I have kept silent. I have been quiet and held myself back. But now, like a woman in childbirth, I cry out, I gasp and pant. So, there is a time is coming, and it is not very far, when God will arise and he will deal with all those who do not keep his commandments. How I pray that if you are watching this video or you are listening, kindly, if you have not been obeying the commandments of God, start obeying. Starting with the first 4 commandments. Start resting on a Sabbath. If you have not been keeping the commandments, start, my dear viewer and my dear listener, because a time is coming when God will arise, and it will not be merrymaking. It will be serious. There will be great tribulation for those who don't obey the commandments of God, starting with the 4 commandments. And starting also with the 4th commandment. God is passionate about that commandment. God is so much passionate about the Sabbath. He's the one who gave all the commandments, but the commandment about the Sabbath, He has insisted. It is so dear to him. It is so dear to him. So when in this video, in this channel, remember I have done a series of videos about the Sabbath. And one of the things that we saw about why it is important to keep the Sabbath is that because even God kept the Sabbath. And even today, Sabbath is kept in heaven. So my viewer and my listener, if you are not keeping the Sabbath, start resting on a Sabbath. And not the morning. And we said Sabbath is the seventh day, which is the day they call Saturday from the Gregorian calendar. And it is not that morning to that evening, no. We saw that the day starts from sunset to sunset. So Sabbath is from sunset of the sixth day to the sunset of the seventh day. That is the sunset of Friday to the sunset of Saturday. So my viewer and my listener, know that if you say that you love God and you don't keep his commandments, you are lying to yourself. And the other thing is that there are people who will be in for a rude shock on the last day. Otherwise, shalom, shalom. Have a blessed time. Kindly watch Kwenda Mbinguni and the other songs that I have done. Also kindly, if you have not subscribed, sasa angalia tu, we utaona tu kama umesubscribe ama hauja subscribe. Kama haijaandika subscribed, it means you have not subscribed. And I am playing. I'm requesting you to subscribe, and God will bless you. Otherwise, shalom, shalom. Let's meet in the next video as our Maker will enable us. Shalom, shalom.